Hi guys, Mr. Sonnenberg here. Today what we're going to talk about is how the respiratory system and the circulatory system connect. So this is for you Science 8 students studying uh, cells and cell systems, and this is going to be topic 6 in your textbook for study reference to help you out. So the first thing we're going to talk about is what is the respiratory system. We'll just breeze through it really quick and I'll just show you the direction of travel of air. So what's going to happen is air is going to come in through our nasal passage or our mouth, move down our trachea, into our bronchus, into our bronchioles or bronchi, and into our alveoli, okay, or alveolus as a single, but in plural we call it alveolus or alveoli, sorry. Okay, and those are going to be little grape-like structures at the end you can't really see in this diagram. We have two lungs, okay, two lungs. All right, we have one trachea, comes down and we separate. So this diagram here is going to be very similar to this one. It would be the exact same on the other side basically, okay. So two lungs, we breathe, we inhale, we take in, inhale oxygen, O2 gas, okay, or oxygen, and we exhale CO2 gas, and that's called carbon dioxide. Okay, and that's so we inhale oxygen, exhale carbon dioxide. We want to get the carbon dioxide out and oxygen in because our muscles need the oxygen, and also the carbon dioxide throws off our pH, and so it causes some problems when we want to regulate our body. So in the respiratory system, we're going to be looking today at how they connects with the circulatory system. But again, this diagram here shows the trachea, okay, shows the bronchus, the bronchioles, and the alveolus. So these bronchus, okay, the bronchus are actually they're about 12 millimeters in diameter. Okay, so they're very small. But then if we go down to the bronchioles, okay, bronchioles, they are 0.5 millimeters. Now they get even smaller in diameter. I'll just go like that in diameter, you know what that means. And then if we go to the alveoli, they're actually even smaller, guys. They're 0.2 millimeters in diameter. So just think how tiny there are. Okay, so there's 300 million alveoli, okay, and that is in our lungs. That's 70 square meters of surface area, okay, of surface area in our lungs, in one lung, or in the human lungs. That's how much surface area there is just from these little alveoli just down at the bottom. And the alveoli actually look like these grape-like structures here, okay. So I would pause the video, I would record this stuff as you go, and I would jot down notes. This stuff's going to help you to answer your assignment or complete your assignments. It's being a good study tool, good to take notes, and just to help yourself learn the material, or to ask me questions. And I urge you to please ask me questions all the time about the videos. That would make me happy, very happy. Okay, so here we have arteries, veins, and capillaries. So arteries are very thick walled. They have a thick wall, and they have two walls. Okay, they're very thick, and they have no valves. Okay, that's arteries right here. So arteries, no valves, thick walls, double walled, pumps blood away from the heart. Okay, I'm just going to delete this, and then we have veins. Okay. Veins are two walls. So what I mean by walls, guys, is there's one wall here and then they have another wall here. So they're double walled, okay, but they're thin and they have valves. What's a valve? Well, if I have a vein and blood's flowing in this direction up here, I want to make sure I can prevent it from coming back. So what I have are these little valves that close off, blood flows through, but now it can't come back, okay, and it always moves in one direction, so it's got little valves, just like think of your house. Your house has little valves throughout the house and circulatory, and I'll talk more about that in circulatory system. But anyways, veins pump blood away from the heart, down through your extremities, up to your upper body, but it goes away from the heart. So start at the heart and move away. That is what veins do. They look blue in your arm. Doesn't mean that your blood's blue. All it means is that that's the connective tissue in the veins. The blood's actually red. It's not as red as the oxygenated artery blood in the arteries, but there's high pressure in the arteries, low pressure in the veins. And now let's talk about capillaries. Capillaries are single-walled. They have one wall. They're very thin, extremely thin, way thinner than the others. And the reason is they need to pass or diffuse materials. Okay, well, what are those materials? Well, that's that oxygen, that's that carbon dioxide gas. Oxygen we want to take in, carbon dioxide we want to get rid of, and then that's also another thing called glucose. That's our sugars, our energy, and we get the blood sugar levels that we hear of. You think, say, people, if you have a lot of sugar, then your blood sugar level is going to be highly concentrated. If you have low, if you don't drink much, then it'll be a little bit lower. So that's just one example. But anyways, so those are arteries. Just a quick breeze on arteries and veins, and you can actually find these arteries, veins, and such in these alveoli. Okay, so that's a picture of the alveoli right there. Okay, and you can actually find those there. All right, moving on. So now let's talk about the circulatory system. So we talked about arteries and veins. Well, we're going to find those primarily throughout these arteries and veins. We're going to find those primarily in the circulatory system. So these are going to transport, and if you take a look here, they're going to transport all through your system. The red here are going to be arteries, which means arteries pump away from the heart. This is blood away from the heart. And then veins pump back to the heart. Okay. All right. So that's what these blue are, the veins. And remember, your blood isn't blue. Your blood is just it's more red in arteries because it has oxygen, and it's less red in veins because it has it lacks oxygen. So just remember that veins, okay, no oxygen. Okay, arteries have oxygen. Good. Okay, so we get that. I'll just delete that. Alright, let's talk about the direction of blood flow. So in the circulatory system, the main organ here is the heart. And the heart is going to pump the blood, and the blood's going to circulate. Just like the pipes in the house where water circulates throughout, up to your bathtubs, down your drains, up to your taps, your shower, all that stuff, washing machine, dishwasher. Well, it's just like the body circulatory system. It's constantly circulating through. Okay, so what's going to happen here is deoxygenated blood, which means there's no oxygen in the blood, so that's in veins, is going to come in through here and through here. Actually, I'll just do that again. So through the inferior vena cava and the superior. Superior means upper body. Inferior is going to mean it's coming from the lower body. And it goes into what's called the right atrium. And then it's going to go from the right atrium here. It's going to go through the tricuspid valve, okay, or the T valve. And it's going to go into the right ventricle. And then this deoxygenated blood is going to go through the aortic valve. Oh, sorry, not the aortic valve. Sorry, the pulmonary valve. And then it's going to go up and out the lungs through the pulmonary artery. Now, this is the only artery that's going to have deoxygenated blood. And this is going to go to the left and the right lung. Okay? Right lung, left lung. And it goes up there. And this is where it meets those alveoli. And it goes up to the alveoli. And it's actually going to exchange and diffuse the carbon dioxide out. And it's going to diffuse oxygen in. And now the blood is going to be what we call oxygenated blood. So it has oxygen, and now it's going to flow back in arteries. So then the blood's going to actually come back now, guys. It's going to come back into the heart from the right lung and the left lung through the pulmonary veins. They're called veins, and this is going to have oxygenated blood. The only vein that's going to have oxygenated blood are the pulmonary veins. And these veins are going to flow right into that left atrium right there. And it's going to come down through what we call the M valve, and then going to get pushed down to the left ventricle, and it's going to make its way out the left ventricle through what we call the A valve, and it's going to come out through what we call the aorta. And then it's going to also go down to the lower body. So this is going to take it up to the brain and the upper body, then down to the lower body. So that's how blood is going to transport through the heart, in through the in through the vena cavas, down to the right atrium, to the right ventricle, out the pulmonary artery, up to the lungs, gets oxygen, gets rid of the carbon dioxide, comes back to the heart through the pulmonary veins, into the left atrium, down to the left ventricle, and then out. Oh, what am I doing? Out the aorta. Okay, so, and then it makes its way out, and that oxygenated blood actually goes to the different muscles and body parts, and it transports it down there, and we actually can feel the we can actually feel the or we can oxygenate our muscles. And so if our heart's beating really fast, that means that we need more oxygen to our muscles, okay, because now the heart's pumping harder because we're using more oxygen, and it needs glucose to fire the muscles and keep them strong and to get rid of the carbon dioxide. So our heart pumps harder because we need to get more. So then we breathe heavier as well because we have to get more oxygen in. So last thing is really the connection between the two, which we've basically talked about. So we breathe in down the trachea to the bronchus, to the bronchioles, to the alveoli. They have capillary beds there, and what happens from those capillary beds is we exchange O2 gas, oxygen, or CO2 gas, okay, carbon dioxide, and we get carbon dioxide out, back out the mouth, and oxygen goes down into the lungs, and we take it into the bloodstream. And then, so if blood was to start right here through the aorta, it would make its way down, boop, all to our extremities. It would also go up to our brain and such, but we're just showing one. It's under very high pressure, it doesn't need valves in the arteries, and those arteries are double-walled, very thick, and it goes to these different extremities all through the body, okay, legs, arms, all over where we need it, and our muscles are going to need that oxygen, they're going to need the glucose. So then when it's done and it used up all the oxygen, there's no oxygen in that blood, then it comes through as deoxygenated blood in the veins, makes its way back up to the pulmonary or the inferior and superior vena cava, goes into the right atrium, to the right ventricle, out the pulmonary artery, up to the lungs. That's where this gas exchange happens, and it comes back through pulmonary veins, left atrium, left ventricle, and then back out, and it circulates again. Like I said, just how water circulates in your house. So main things here are, I want you to know the sizes of the valves so you can kind of understand what the sizes look like. I want you to remember that word diffusion, and we're diffusing two things here. We're diffusing oxygen gas, so oxygen. We're diffusing carbon dioxide, okay, carbon dioxide gas. Alright, we want to get carbon dioxide out of the body, okay, out. Oh wow, what am I doing? Out, oh boy, sorry guys, and in, okay, I want to get that in, and they're connected because, well, this oxygen goes into the arteries, and this carbon dioxide comes out in the veins, and basically that's how they connect. Breathe in, inhale, take in oxygen. That's actually going to go into our bloodstream, and it's going to circulate through. The heart's going to pump the blood in arteries away, very thick-walled, and back to the heart in thin, double-walled veins with valves in them, and then it's going to exchange the gases and such and materials through capillary beds that are single-walled. And that is the connection between the respiratory system and the circulatory system. So I hope this has really helped you guys. I know it's going to help you to complete maybe assignments. It's going to be a good study tool. Please remind yourself or remember to play, pause, rewind. Use this as a tool to help you work at your own pace. And make sure that in the future we're always checking for videos so we can watch and make sure we can see this, view the screencast prior to coming to class, so it gives me more time to work with you guys and have that one-on-one time that will make you successful. So anyways, I hope this has helped. Thanks for tuning in, and hope you guys continue to watch the screencast.